Welcome to Call Your Hits, a Storm Riders Airsoft podcast. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Today, we have a very fun, albeit completely new concept for an episode. We are joined by our good friend, Matt, the Storm Wizard, longtime friend of the show, one of my good buddies. And of course, Pat, John Pat Ryder, as he is known sometimes on the Discord. And this is a concept that it was pitched to us by Matt and Pat. And what it is, it's basically, should I buy this, I should say, with Matt and Pat. Matt is one of the, well, not, I'd say few people, but one of a handful of people who's given me really useful, direct, and dare I say, harsh feedback on some of the things that I did or did not do in Airsoft in a way that, to be honest, is very useful, because not a lot of people will just look at you and go like, hey, that's stupid, but in a constructive way. And so we thought, what better way to do a sort of similar conversation with Pat than to get Matt to do it, the epitome of useful feedback, but also it's Matt and Pat and it rhymes, and like you can't really pass that up either. So that's an important part of this whole thing. So the whole idea here, the whole premise of the episode is Pat and Matt both have lists of things that they want some opinions on, and they're going to take turns or maybe go in a list. We'll see how the flow feels. One at a time, we'll see, and just basically just talk about it, what makes sense. And of course, I'm here to interject as well, and just have a conversation really about the kinds of things that, we're all about on, in the Storm Riders community and like on the podcast, which is really thinking critically about like, do we really need certain things? And like, are we doing it for just fun? In which case, great. But if we're really thinking about it from a standpoint of like, is this effective? Is this really going to work? Having those conversations is really useful. So guys, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks for taking the time. I really appreciate it. And why don't we jump right in? Pat, why don't you start us off?
So, I mean, just before we like get into the lists, this is a fun thing that happens on the Discord anyway, periodically. Like whenever I talk about wanting something, either I get roasted or people suggest that I do bad things.
Mostly the latter. Yeah, mostly the latter.
I think we're a nice collective of good influences on one another.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I wouldn't say bad things. You always say that, like, you're influencing me to do bad things. Nah, bro. We're airsofters, man. I think these are good things you're doing, right? You could be spending that money on drugs.
That's true.
On hockey tickets, on all sorts of useless crap you shouldn't be looking at.
Hang on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Fair play.
Okay, sorry.
That's great,
anyway,
man.
Point is, dude, like this is our hobby, right? Like this is my lifestyle and a hobby and a sport that we all enjoy. And I'm going to say it's always a good thing to find the right fit for you in that hobby.
Conceding that like I'm sitting in a room full of other hobbies.
Yeah.
You've got your things. I got on that side is all my Star Wars Lego, right? An entire wall and a half, just as much as I've got Airsoft, right?
So, like as Phil was doing the intro, is enjoying the X-wing nosing into the frame.
Like, yep. It's actually chasing that tie up there.
Oh, sick. It's a little.
That's the Inquisitor's tie from the Rebels.
It's like it's a little fuzzy on
Nice.
my end. I definitely can't get it in frame, but I have a Imperial Shuttle Lego over there.
Nice.
All right. So anyway,
sorry,
we're digressing immediately off to secondary
sounds like
subjects.
Us, right? So
what a great start.
I think like the first thing to poke at for me, because it's been a meme on the Discord a bit, is the M240. I'm like, we've definitely said in previous episodes that I'm not going to do that, because the practicality of it is probably too low for the budget impact. But like, I'm here for your opinion on it, right?
And let's not lie to ourselves and say that you're not actually still not thinking about it. Like some part deep down of you is still like, yeah, me one.
In preparation for this episode, while I was taking my lunch break from marking a million papers today, I was looking at Andy's Airsoft, because that's my go-to supplier.
Right.
And, I'm not saying he
there's two
has
sides
one
to this, right? Like,
and the HPA kit. I'm just saying he has one.
Oh man, an
and the
HPA. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is an interesting thing for you because I know from talking to people who know you and have used your gear, and from listening to the podcast a bunch of times and listening to you talk about stuff that you actually know what you're doing when you're putting a gun together, right?
Mostly.
So an HPA medium machine gun is a really cool thing at very specific events, right? Uh, you guys run the events out there, so you can make it work. You can say, all right, somebody bring out a pickup truck. We're going to mount this on the back of it, and it can use 40 BBs and it can fire 2.5 joules, but it can't, it's got a 150-foot MED or whatever, right?
We're gonna park it on the berm.
But whatever, like you're doing bigger spaces, you're doing bigger events, you have the possibility, but then it will eventually become like, do you travel that much? Because you're not going to some of these events, as I understand it, that are
Hmm.
too far away. You can't travel all that much. And I don't think you have much call for that where you normally play. Seems like a smaller place, like a medium machine gun would be way too much.
I feel like using the dual limit you just described and the BB weight you just described, its range would be effectively the whole field. Like,
Well, here's
Yeah.
the yeah, right. So you could tone it down, but then what's the point of having the whole medium machine gun platform except it feels cool?
yeah,
Uh,
I'm like, I've already got the 249, right? So it's sort of a like
yeah, and
redundant.
it's not that much different than the 249 that I think it would be worth all the effort. It's like just slightly fatter. If you want to get something big, dude, do like something cool. Do like a 1913 30 cal, right? Uh,
That is
you got to
harder.
bother with
Mhm.
all that
That
weight.
is harder to
No, it
acquire.
isn't. No, it's just a box, bro. You could put it around a V2
Okay,
engine.
fair. I
Yeah.
do have a welder on the team and an
And
engineer.
and you know how to feed a magazine up and around through an HPA system. You could put a whole magazine in the back of a box and a V2. You could really just cut down like an M4 and like stick it out and make it look like an M30 or like the 30 caliber machine gun, right? Like a baby 50 cal. At that point, that would be pretty cool. But just for kicks, like the 240 Bravo is not that much different from what you've already got that I'd bother with it.
That's legit. And like
Mhm.
is a pretty much the conclusion I've come to. It's just sort of a conclusion that I lament every now and then because it looks so cool.
Right? Like, all right, like I'll go to my first one then. On the same vein, right there, my Star Wars blaster. I want to get an HPA engine in it
Yeah.
for to make it into a what is essentially like an automatic rifle, uh, because I like the idea of the original bar walking fire as I walk up the field with automatic fire. I find it super cool, and some events will let me run that. APA will let me run it as a machine gun. It's a big chunky
I mean,
thing.
it's huge. Like,
Yeah. Uh, so I've only run into one place that wouldn't let me run it at all, and that's just because they were like heavy into milsim. But it's a big, heavy gun. I don't go to that many events a year where I use it that often, but I really want to put a Nexus or a Mech Labs Nexus in it.
ooh,
So when
fancy.
I do go,
I
it'll
like
be
it.
tuned, and like my idea is a little bit less than yours, but like I want to make it into slightly longer than I would normally go, right? Like maybe somewhere between 1.5 and two joules,
Yeah, yeah,
because I normally run my Kythera at like 1.1, and that's enough to reach out and touch somebody as far as I ever need to. Uh,
that checks.
but like I wouldn't be able to use it that often because I don't go out in the woods that often anymore, especially with the Airsoft Challenge program folding up. Uh,
Mhm.
that's where I always played in the wood was either at Reno or in CZ, and they ran events there, and that's the only reason I went to those places.
Hmm.
So Airsoft's changing, and so is unfortunately my list. And I'd like to say that like I wish I could give you something to put in about that, but unfortunately, like the conclusion I've already come into is I can't. Like there's no dropping $450 on a once a year gun.
Yeah, I
Is
mean,
it an AEG currently? Just so I understand.
Uh, it's actually yeah, it's got an AEG in there. I don't use it very often because it's like just built of spare parts, and I had the Fusion in it, and then I pulled the Fusion out and put it in my daughter's gun.
Mhm.
Uh,
I mean,
and so I just haven't put anything back in.
yeah, I mean, a fusion engine in a gun that you're using once a year is like, I mean, literally what I was describing with the 249, but also a
Right.
very expensive proposition, right?
Exactly,
Mhm.
right. And the Nexus is exactly the same price, bro. It's like $450 just to drop in there and pull it out once, twice a year. It's not it.
Yeah. I mean, I also like I can really empathize with the sort of feeling that airsoft is changing, like where you play, in the sense that we are clearly you know, with the league that Phil's working on, and that I'm going to be helping him ref, and with, you know, the larger events, I feel like the shape of Airsoft here is changing a bit. And like, my kit is currently in some ways pretty designed around where we have been playing. So like, I don't think this is going to be a big issue, but I've definitely been putting thought into the fact that like my HPA, the place I refill my HPA is probably a place we're going to be playing less often. You know, as this season starts up and moves forward. I mean, at the moment, I like literally can't see out the windows in my basement because of the snow. So like, that's not the most immediate problem. Like,
Right.
I do have a solution for that particular thing, which is a scuba tank. So we'll be able to fill our HPA tanks off of a scuba tank with an adapter. And as you may or may not know, I know a guy who scuba dives a whole lot. He also happens to have an adapter that works fine for airsoft tanks or paintball tanks.
That was the thing I was
so
sort of
On that point,
yeah.
my local team has one, Fatal Prescription, who I play with all the time, and they fill my tanks all the time for me. They'll bring out like a full tank and it'll last the whole team an entire weekend to play. It's rad.
yeah, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that person has a compressor as well, question mark. Phil?
Yeah, you're talking about my brother,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, just to clarify. Okay, yes, I yes, he has a compressor.
just
as
didn't
well,
wanna-
right? So like yeah. So basically, like, you know, that's the kind of thing
Great.
though. Even if you don't have that equipment, you can still, you know, just as an aside, like if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, I don't know how to get HPA at my field, like a refill. If as long as you have the correct attachment, you can just rent a scuba tank. You rent a scuba tank and you can refill off of that. You know, you don't need
How
necessarily.
much does renting a
compressor.
scuba tank cost? Like, I know that's
It's not very. It's
like-
not very expensive from like a dive shop. Not too expensive. I don't know. I'm gonna guess. Last time I rented one, I maybe spent like $40 or $50 for the day.
Oh,
Like
wow. Yeah, that's
it's just an aluminum cylinder,
that's
right?
extremely chill though. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we've talked before about the fact that like HPA stuff is not a toy, right?
Yeah.
In that sense, like one of the nice things about using Airsoft HPA stuff is that if it's got to work for that, it's not going to blow up on you.
Yeah. Well, and it's the same thing with like scuba tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they don't mess around with that stuff. So like you get a scuba tank from a dive shop. It's assuming it's a reputable dive shop, then it's basically bomb proof. Like you're
Roxy.
not going to have any issue. So we've talked about your two sort of like machine gun, automatic fire, bad idea replicas.
I like to be both.
Bad idea from this, like great idea, but interestingly, like bad idea from the standpoint of what are we actually going to be using, or how often are we actually going to be using it? Because you know, like if it's something you're using once a year and you're spending $100 on it, whatever.
Yeah, and,
right.
like, high
But if you're
cost,
going to
low
be spending,
practicality, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're like I mean, what Matt was talking about with the Nexus, like that's $450 US. Like so for us, that's like $600 or $700 Canadian.
Which is about
And then which is expensive. And then for you with the M240 Bravo, like that's even stupider in terms of price. Like it's like twice that cost, right? So
yeah. Well, I mean, like the
Yeah.
HP engine is about $750, so you're Canadian, so you're spot on there. And then
Yeah.
the actual body to put it in is another $1,000. So it's like, you know, it gets to be a dumb idea from a price point, you know, and like, you know, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, like I would like to travel to a game with you if we can figure that out. Being a teacher makes that harder because there are only 2 months of the year I can travel in.
Mhm.
Well, I guess there are like 3 or 4 more, but they're, you know, Christmas, I'm not going to travel anywhere to play Airsoft. A, I doubt there's anywhere to travel, and B, you know, it's Christmas.
Mhm.
You know, Easter actually could work. You know, so like, yeah, most of my list is sort of either aimed at like things I think will be useful in the coming season, or stuff I've been putting off spending $50 on so that I can spend $100 on other stuff.
Perfect. Me too.
You know, which is
Why don't you give us your next thing
it's
then?
like the most Airsoft thing ever. So I'm going to cheat a little because I've already done this one. But
Right.
my dump pouch, you know, swapped it over to front this year. Fantastic. Love it. Is from like it came with my very first Cyrez, right? Like, so it doesn't owe me anything, and it's not really beaten to hell, but it's also not nice at all. It's big. It's for a dump pouch heavy. Phil has a really nice mesh one. I was talking to the team chat, I guess in December, and went like, you know, I really should order another dump pouch to replace this shitty one. And I was looking at the one Phil has, but it's like $120 or something, which feels expensive for a pouch for airsoft. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
To clarify, I did not spend $120 on it. It was used secondhand, so I did. It was like $40.
Fair.
But regardless,
and so he tossed one at me on Amazon that was like 25, and I was like, well, looks like it's made out of mesh. Looks like it probably won't tear immediately. Try it. So I ordered it. It's on my gear. So far, put mag in pouch. Yes. Okay, perfect. It does the thing.
Perfect. Wonderful. I fully support everything about this. A good dump pouch is hard to find. Most people have enormous bottlenecked nonsense where they've got like a drawstring on it. You can't actually get anything in or out of it. But the mesh zip dump pouch that Phil recommended, I also bought, and I paid 80 US for it, and I don't regret a bit of it. I actually ended up selling it to a friend. Unfortunately, I'm going to buy myself another one because I think it's fantastic. I wasn't using it at the time, but what I do now is I just carry so many flamingos that it doesn't make sense to like go for a specialty like single grenade holder or anything. I just have a dump pouch that's literally full of flamingos. And as I pull out and throw them, I put them in my cargo pockets instead of dumping into my dump pouch.
Yep.
But either way, I fully support that particular dump pouch. The mesh dump pouch in general, I don't like the big heavy dump pouches, but like having one on your front is a brilliant idea because you could carry like 10 of these just ready to go.
Yeah.
And while we're on the subject, this is the long spoon. I've got this
nice.
rubber band over it. This is how I carry them. And that way, when I'm ready to deploy, and they're ready to throw.
I like that a lot.
That's a great idea.
Like, thanks. We'll be stealing
that. Got this off a band of asparagus, and I literally just carry all of them either pinned up, and the pins are usually lanyarded into the bottom of the bag, or I've got the rubber band. So as soon as I pull them, it's just ready to go.
Yep.
That's a great idea.
Like,
actually. Even the lanyard into the bag. So like as soon as you pull the grenade out of the bag, the pin comes out regardless. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah. So it's like a foot long lanyard. So I pull it out of the bag and zip, it's gone.
Awesome.
And I can throw it. If I want to put it back in, I've got enough slack that I can pop it and push it back in.
That's a great friggin' idea, dude.
Man.
That's a really good idea.
10 out of 10. We'll be stealing both of these ideas. Like,
you recommended the dump pouch, and I'm just applying the great item you gave to me. So
it's
10
the
out of 10 on this
HSGI
item.
one, right? The HSGI dump magnet.
Yeah. You recommended it like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's dude.
And like the one I've been using,
recommend
the one I've been using has been my my Sacco grenades for most of this season.
Exactly right. So you could imagine it just being lighter and nicer and easier to get into.
Yeah, like that's the point, right? Or like the hope. Like I said, I've used it for messing around with my gear in my basement. I haven't run it for a game yet, but yeah, I mean, it seems to be significantly better than what's really. It's a little smaller, which is in this case kind of a good thing.
Oh yeah,
because like,
and you can fold it up like super tiny.
Yeah, right.
Like a lot of foldable dump pouches will fold up to still take like 6 molly wide, and be like 3 deep, and you're like,
man.
no,
I mean,
dude,
like
this is
the
like a
one
whole purse.
The one I've been using is a sack. Like,
Yeah.
So
no, that one, 10 out of 10 on that one. And while we're on that, I'm going to move to my next item on the list, which is hand grenades. I plan to get more flamingos and more flamingo parts because I only own 5 throwing flamingos, and I have found that in one game, the more grenades you carry, the more grenades you're going to use, especially when they cost a cent to deploy, right? Or less, like a fifth of a cent to deploy these grenades once you own them and you buy the primers. I actually got like 3 boxes of primers for $5 on a deal the other day, bro. I'm so excited, right?
Some people
anyway,
are playing yourself. Matt's
forever.
just throwing hand grenades.
Well, I realized we were doing like a take the build, like a flip the pole, and in the middle of our field is a building called Kill House, and Kill House has a total of like 12 windows. On the side I could get to, there were 6, and I literally like threw all 5 grenades through those windows and cleared out that space. But once we got inside, the other half of the house still existed, and I'd love to be able to just keep chucking grenades as I go in.
Yep.
Because the best way to take care of a building full of people who are defending an objective and know you're coming is to throw grenades at them.
Yeah, I mean, why fight people like a sucker, right? Like, genuinely.
Yeah, dude. Like I could go in there and we could trade a hit, and like they die and I die, and then one of my buddies tries to take it, or I could just throw grenades all day. They're cheaper than BBs.
Yeah. I mean, if you're coming to anyone looking to be dissuaded from buying more flamingos, like I mean, this is not the right crew for that.
I mean, like it's funny. So like I'll cheat a little. This was further down my list, but the same thing is on my list. Noah lost one of mine during, I think, pretty much the last game of the season for us. Like, and not in a like a hating on Noah kind of way. Like I tossed it and was like, throw this at people, please. You know, it went into the swamp or God knows where, right?
Oh, these things happen, man.
But like he was like, oh, I'll buy a new one. I'm like, if you want, but like they're not expensive enough that I'm pissed about this, right? So yeah, I sort of like my current thought process is like, you know, I got to replace that one. So I guess I kind of want to buy 3 this year because sort of maybe I'll try to like add 2 a year over time. That way I'm not, you know, spending an obscene amount of money on them, but I'm also slowly accruing more.
Yeah, say like,
You know,
what I'm doing is okay. I'm getting a little more than 2 a year. I'll admit. It's like I'm budgeting for like 1 every 2 months. I'm doing
I mean,
because you do lose them. Even like in the best of circumstances, you drop one in a swamp, it goes under a plywood building, and you can't get under it until like next winter or whatever. There's always a chance of losing these things.
I'm like, I mean,
So-
in fairness, on the right day, today is not the right day. I guess in terms of my own mental state about it, but like, you know, Phil could be like, oh, we're doing an order, and I could be like, let's get 4. Like, you know, I need grenades for my grenade sack. Like, carry on.
I mean, it's such a shift from like before this, us like just battling with either the tornadoes that we used to have, you know, rest in peace, Airsoft Innovations, or having to drop like $100, $120 Canadian, like an ASG Storm or an ASG Apocalypse or whatever. That if you lose that or it breaks, like you're sorry about that because it's so expensive. I mean, you can get 2 tornadoes, two flamingos for the price of one of those.
Yeah, and I mean, I had 2
And-
tornadoes, and I used
Yeah.
them, you know, until they stopped working. I used them all the time, and I don't feel like they, at $100, I don't feel like they owed me anything.
But you also never lost it. You would have been really pissed if you lost one.
Yeah,
right?
no, I lost one. I lost one at Yellow Rocks in 24. I remember exactly where I was lying when that $120 freaking grenade fell off my belt and never got found again.
Totally, you know, and like it's cool that by the same token, you know, Noah was like, "Oh, I lost your grenade. I'll buy you a new one." And I was like, "Whatevs, man."
Right?
You know, it's yeah. This is, I think, you know, a big positive of the flamingos, and the fact that, as you said, you know, I don't have to carry around propane for them if I'm not using anything else that uses propane. They don't expend BBs. They're just, you know, a single percussion cap for a shot. Okay, great.
Right? Like you can reload them on your walk back to spawn.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have.
And-
I will again.
You know, that's what I do. I literally have like a pocket full of primers just boop, on our way back.
Yeah, like
It's also
yeah,
cool
Rick-
because when you think about changing airsoft conditions, I know one of the big changes that has really helped is a lot of airsoft events now in fields don't require you to be hit by a BB from a grenade for that kill to count. And so in that context, these grenades really came just at the right time. Now, the event, for example, we're going in May, that's not the rule. You have to be hit by like a BB that comes out of a grenade for it to count. Fair enough. But that's the minority now. Most of the events that I've been to, and all the ones that I've run are like, if a grenade goes off next to you within like a car's distance away and you don't have hard cover, just call yourself out. And so in that context, like to what you're saying before, Matt, I totally feel that like if I have 5 flamingos on me during a game, they are all getting thrown. If I have 1 flamingo on me, chances are it never gets thrown.
Right? Because you're always
Right?
waiting for just the right moment. for
Yeah,
it.
legit
But once
though.
you pop, you can't stop.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, like that's a headspace thing, right? Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's that's the same headspace to be, you know, a video game nerd for a minute. That's like, oh yeah, I got to the end of, you know, this JRPG and I have 37 high potions left. Why? I might need them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was totally transfixed because this is like
hello again.
you've said that before, and this is like a moment where it's like watching Macho Man Randy Savage go, "Oh yeah," and Pat's like, a video game reference.
Yeah.
Ogre.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just waiting, right? Like, and I'm like, this is fun. I'm
No,
sorry.
man,
I'm having a great
this
moment.
is awesome.
'cause-
Like, I love it.
like you were talking about tornadoes, and years ago, when I was just a starting airsofter, a fan of the show, I bought a tornado, and that thing lasted forever. But like you said, it's terrifying that the thought of losing it, And then I always felt kind of finicky about them. Like if you didn't get the gas just right, it's blowing up in your hand. And I blasted my own wrist with 120 BBs more than
Oh yeah,
once,
Mhm.
ready to throw those things,
this
right?
is
Legit,
this is
yeah.
Uh,
part of the tornado user experience.
and they also, if you hit somebody in the head with a tornado, then they're going to be riding the short bus. Uh,
And it's a quick nap.
I have accidentally,
It's all good. It's a power nap.
I've accidentally hit people in the noggin with the flamingos, bouncing them off a wall or whatever. And I'm like, ow, hit, and I'm like, oh, my bad. I'll take it too, because like, my bad. I don't want to hit people in the head with this stuff, but it doesn't hurt that badly.
Yeah.
I mean, and like talking about stuff that we're doing, doing this year and that we've done in the past year, like I don't think there's a world where I throw a tornado like where either our op this summer was or where our op next summer is in like that deep in the woods, because I will definitely be like, well, that's $120 and I'd like to still have it. Now,
Yeah.
it may be the case that like I never need one anyway. That'd be great. But like just the fact of like, oh yeah, I can throw it wherever I need to. I can throw it. I don't, if I lose one, okay, whatever. Like it's not that big a deal. That it's not even the cost of a box of Warhammer, which is a sad sentence in itself, but like here we are.
Oh yeah. Now, see, like the way I look at it is like when you go to those big events, you just fuss out and you get pyro.
Yeah.
Right. I'm spending the money to go to the event. I'm spending the money to get the Verbo. I can afford, $150 or whatever for 10 hand grenades.
Totally.
But at my skirmish field, bro, there's nothing better than a flamingo. At any like regular skirmish field where you're going to be going back, where you know the terrain, where you're not going to be hucking things into swamps, tornado or flamingos, bro, all the way.
And like I think
Do them.
and like I think talking to the fact that like repairing the tornadoes was a pain in the ass, like factually, the fact that I can just be like, oh yeah, I bought a box of spare parts from these guys for $40.
Yeah.
Great. Anyone who's done any amount of airsoft teching is like, so it takes 30 seconds to fix and the parts aren't expensive?
Right? No,
How
you
unusual.
pull out. It's, oh, this screw comes out. You put on the new spoon. This screw goes in. Your grenade's working again, bro.
Right? Like,
Yeah. Seriously.
That's the only part that breaks too. And I'll admit, I break the spoons off stuff all the time. To be ordering some more long spoons
but
after
Mm.
this.
but like they're also very cheap.
Yeah, dude.
That's I'm perfectly comfortable
Cheaper than a bag of babies.
exactly
Yeah.
right. I'm perfectly comfortable with the parts for them being kind of consumable, because it doesn't really like they're not expensive enough that it bothers me. They're below materiality for airsoft.
Yeah.
So getting away from
All right. Hit us with the next one.
yeah,
Pat.
getting away from the cheating. So I've spent a couple of years running a battle belt that I bought from Karoo, and like not doing a very good job of running it, and not like building it as a belt kit and just using it as extra storage space to carry more crap that I don't need. Which is like, I think, a very Pat airsoft thing. One of the drawbacks to having spent so much time in the Boy Scouts is that I'm like, oh yes, how many things can I carry? But the suspenders that we bought ages and ages ago, which like are great because they're indestructible, don't adjust to fit that battle belt or the belt that it's on at all. And so they're terrible for it. And they've been terrible for it the entire time I've been using it. And again, the solution's like $60, and I've just been like, so
All right.
they're probably the top of my, they're literally the top of my actual list here of like reasonable things.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna try and push you on that one. Go ahead and get yourself some great suspenders. I don't wear suspenders during skirm days, but on events, I absolutely put suspenders on my belt. Johnny and the boys dragged me through the tunnels at Iron Horse by my suspenders, and they held up. Dude, spend the money on a good set of like regular workman suspenders.
Yeah.
And mine were like Carhartts, and I just stuck them straight through the molly on my belt, like, and that was it, dude. Like.
Yep.
They clip. You just boop, and you go. And while we're on the subject, let's talk about your belt since you're an HPA user. Because everything that I need for a skirmish or even a longer day is on this belt. Let's start with the variant.
What have you got?
Here's my
What have you
HPA
got
tank.
that in?
This is a USGI medic, Molly 2 medic pouch. I pulled the first one I had off of my actual US issue medic bag, and I tore through it. But then I find that the UCP ones you can get for like $7 online for surplus, and I'll go through about one a season. I can, I wear through them.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Because this is on my hip, it gets slid
gently
on,
used.
run around. So there's that, and then this is my trigger holster for my AAP, which I'm assuming is somewhere on your list, but we'll get down to that.
Have you, Phil? Did
The
you show
Out of
him
Gear
the document?
magazine
Like, really?
pouches. We've been talking about this one for a while,
I
bro.
know, man.
Here's this, and you'll notice in my Out of Gear, I actually have dummy corded to it my HPA adjustment wrench, because you always lose that because it's a tiny wrench. And then right now I'm doing a dual pistol setup, so this is actually another holster. But I have all this space still
And then
here.
I started blasting.
I have enough room for 3 mags, and I've run this up to 6 mags down the back. And I can't imagine what you're doing that you need more than 6 PTS EPM ones. And that's all that you need for a game of airsoft besides your water.
Totally.
Where's your HPA tank like in a 12 o'clock position compared to your front?
It is right behind my left hip, just behind my pistol.
So like 7 o'clock basically.
Yeah, 7.
Okay, interesting.
Probably like 8.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
I am left-handed.
Okay.
Okay.
And actually, I've spent a lot of time setting up exactly where I want it, because if it's too far forward, I hit it with my wrists.
Mhm.
And if it's too far back, it bounces off my plump, juicy ass, and then it actually hurts by the end of the day. Right? And I'll have a bruise on the
BBL.
top of my butt, and it'll hurt by the end of the day. It's like a solid bruise. And so, yeah, I spent a lot of time figuring exactly where I like my tank on my belt. And that's something that's worth doing, because you don't want to fall on it, you don't want it bouncing on your butt, and you don't want your wrist smacking against
I
it
also
while you
feel
run.
like it's not on the list, but like I've got one of the big padded battle belts, and I feel in some ways like I might be better off with something closer in size to what you were just showing off.
Yeah, like it is literally just 2 rows of molly, and that's it. But I mean, it's everything you need, because you can fit a holster around it. You can put mag pouches on it.
Yep.
And if you're carrying anything heavier than an HPA tank on your airsoft gear, it better be for some sort of weird long format game.
Or it's a grenade launcher.
Or, well, to be fair, this is my grenade launcher.
I mean, respect. Like,
Plus, your grenade launcher is a gun or it's a blaster, right? It's not a piece of gear.
that's fair. It does provide
Yeah,
BBs
it's a piece of
directed
gear, but-
downrange in the desired manner.
Yeah. Like we say guns and gear, right? Let's go ahead and separate them, and I'll put that on the guns column.
Legit.
So your suggestion to Pat is ditch the chest rig altogether and put all of that
Yeah.
onto a belt.
The only thing you need
setup.
on your chest is a suspenders, bro.
It's legit. I mean, like, I love my chest rig because it's just super comfy. But people keep telling me to try the belt kit life, and like,
Well, here's what I'm gonna say,
the
right?
only
Is
thing I
like
don't own for that is apparently one of those pouches, and
like you already own the belt, right? So put it on, set it up, take the time. Don't be afraid of swapping your molly. And this is the thing: all airsofters, don't be afraid of swapping your molly.
It's a real fear for a lot of people.
like, it's one
It
of those
is,
things
dude.
where it's like I'm like, oh, but I'm so lazy, and then it's like, it takes 15 minutes.
Mhm.
Like all things, like the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it. The easier it'll be, the less of a big deal it is. Do it, bro. Set up your belt, take the time, go, where does my hand fall? Put a mag there. Where does my hand fall after that? Put a mag there. Do that until all your mags are in their place. Do that until, if you really want a pistol, until that's in its place. This is assuming you're running a rifle. If you're only running a pistol, if you want to run a pistol, put it in its good spot. But choose one or the other. But put everything, find the comfortable spot for you. Because it's something you want to do. You own all the things, bro.
Yeah.
You own it all. Give it a shot.
Totally.
Put it
Like I
together.
said, I do need to get
Stop being lazy. This costs you nothing.
the good suspenders first, just because like it's not going to work
No,
otherwise.
man. It's just, Chicago, screw your belt if it won't stay tight, man.
So yeah, definitely like the top of my to purchase list, and also by far the cheapest thing on the actual serious airsoft purchases list.
Yeah, no, suspenders, dude. Do it. Get your suspenders. You deserve it.
So like maybe that'll be a next paycheck treat. I guess we should bounce back to you, rather than me just
Okay,
reading the
let me
list.
grab them. Okay,
excited.
let's see. I need more flamingo. No, I don't need more flamingo grenades. This is actually coming off my list. I had launcher grenades on my list before Christmas, and these are chalk rounds.
Nice.
I got 50 chalk rounds for Christmas, so I don't need launcher grenades anymore.
That's delicious.
Yeah, you're
I'm
all
going to be
set.
shooting those in the next year. And right now, I've got 4 tubes to shoot them from, which brings me to the next item that is actually on my list that we were discussing earlier. I'm thinking about a 6-round revolving grenade launcher. Uh, if you had talked to me about this a year ago, I wouldn't have ever considered it because Flamingo wasn't in my life then.
Hmm.
Uh, since then, I have spent a lot of time using this launcher to kill Toyota Tacomas. Uh, but as I get into bigger events, there's more than one, more than truck out there eventually, right? Other people are bringing them, and then I've just got like this on my pistol, right? But then I've still only got 2 grenades.
But what if I need to kill more Toyota Tacomas?
Dude, it's an issue in airsoft, okay?
Hey,
Any game that's got technicals, you've got 2 or more Tacomas, right? They're the Hilux of airsoft.
I mean, like,
Mhm.
I think we can all agree that no one wants a Tacoma with a medium machine gun shooting, 2.5 joules with .4s hosing where they're like,
Exactly.
Having been on the receiving end of that, can confirm. Do not want.
thanks, I hate
So
it.
anyway, Zone 37's in April. As the first leg of the Get Smoked Iron Airsofter Challenge, we're going to be doing Zone 37 for 3 days and then Get Smoked the very next weekend.
You are a
I
madman.
know Elise Collins
Like,
joining
I love it,
me,
but you are a madman.
maybe Zip. So that's happening. Real quick plug there. Someday you'll make it out here, bro. Even if you have to like teleport or like remotely control your airsoft robot,
Yes, yes.
right?
Excellent.
We'll figure it out. Either way, so that's really exciting, and I have now a reputation with one of the factions that runs technicals as kind of a threat, and I don't like right now. It's like, hey, if you guys don't mess with me, I'm not going to blow you up, and I'd really like to reinforce that threat. Plus, I discovered Ace Hives this year, and they're super cool. During skirmish days, blasting somebody because they have like no energy when they finally hit you, but it's super cool to watch. So anyway, revolving grenade launcher. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm going to let Phil start because I know he.
I mean, I have an opinion on this, right? Have you seen Boondock Saints? What if it was one
Yeah.
guy with 6 guns?
So, like,
Like
Just
I
keep
just
pulling launchers out.
imagine, yeah, because you have that like the small one that you had, the handheld one. That's like a 3D printed jobby or something, right? Like it's
Yeah.
'cause I could just imagine you just having them strapped all over your body and just pulling them out one at a time and just
just
blasting,
rocking,
like bang bang.
just rocking the pirate coat instead of the Hawaiian shirt.
Well, I mean,
So
to be fair,
that was what I was gonna say because that's where my
I
mind
like
went.
it because I could actually, let's go back to my idle gear pouches, load a brace of freaking grenade launchers in my belt and just wear it.
A brace of
Yeah.
hand cannons, sir.
Like what is more intimidating, do you think, to an airsofter who is like involved with technicals, seeing a guy show up with a 6-cylinder like grenade launcher, or one guy right who has like a sling full of like single shot pistols like a goddamn pirate? Like, I don't know, man, but
Oh my god, dude, that was all I really needed. I still want to hear what Pat has to
Phil-
say, but
Phil
now
has
I'm going to
not-
buy more freaking.
Phil has given you
I'm gonna
a
do
wonderful idea that I look forward to
Oh,
seeing
dude.
the consequences of.
Just dropping them because I'm not afraid to drop my gear, and grenade launchers, the pistol grenade launchers are always solid enough for you to just drop them, dude. It would work.
Totally.
I would love it. Oh,
Yeah, so funnily enough, like, I have 2 spaces here with grenades on it, just different kinds. So more flamingos. Also, yeah, I've got 2 of the Ace Hive shells. I would like another pair, because I like whenever I want one, I want 4. Like, just
exactly right. Like as long as you're firing them.
yeah, exactly. I'm like,
so what do you think about Matt's idea though about the 6-cylinder? Like, is that something that you would go for, or would you do sort of? Like,
mean, like, you-
I'm interested to hear what you have
I mean,
to
like,
say
you
about
fully-
because I give my opinion.
you fully know
but-
that, like, I've wanted one of those or an excuse to buy one of those for like ever. I think, from a practical point of view, because that's theoretically the goal here, other than just talking about cool airsoft stuff. For the moment, I think the priority for me needs to be like, I think the 4 flamingo launcher shells are like, I think that's a thing I want like 3 or 4 of.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially as we like are doing more scenario based stuff with larger fields and the possibility of me having technicals to shoot at, right? So those have been fairly close to the top of my like actual useful things list. Once I have 4, like, hey Pat, do you want to buy 2 more and have an excuse to buy 6? Sure.
But if you're Matt, what do you do?
Oh, I mean, if I'm mad, I definitely just shout Yarhar a bunch and get a bandolier of those. And in fairness, Pat also kind of likes that idea. Like,
well, no, I absolutely love it. Like, I've never considered that, but it's absolutely on brand.
Yeah,
and it's not going to weigh anymore. I might
honestly,
just do that
might
for
weigh
zone.
less.
and I mean
Yeah.
for zone in particular, like it's just so much flair, right?
That's
like
true,
if people
and I mean,
don't,
like-
if people don't already know you, they're gonna know you then.
God, yeah, and these things are way cheaper. Okay, yeah, I know that's happening.
Yeah. And like, to be frank, I ran the 320, and like mostly I was using that as a grenade pistol for a full season, and I sold it because having the grenade launcher on my gun is fine, but also because I can buy a grenade pistol for way less that will work
Mhm.
better for being a grenade pistol, like if that's a thing I want.
Yeah.
So yeah, neither the rotating grenade launcher nor the grenade pistol was actually on this list, but like maybe they should be.
Not the rotating one, not for you. You can get the pistols though and act like a pirate too.
I mean,
Yar.
I'll just put some matches into my beard. It'll be good.
Yeah.
See,
What's your
like,
next
it-
one,
it's-
Matt?
My next one is a gas blowback FAL.
Ooh.
Because all my
Okay.
favorite airsofters have one. And I want to do a Zippy impression kit
Right.
from Get Smoke 25.
Somewhere,
He had this.
somewhere, John just got really excited. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, there are gas blowback only events that I want to go to. So I need a gas blowback gun besides my AAP. And I love it, but there are some events and like guys I like who are like inviting me, but it's like special gun rules. I'm like, normally I wouldn't play this, but like my buddies want me to come.
Mhm.
And so I kind of want to do like, I want to get a gas blowback that's reasonable to have and I know is good. And I know that the FAL can be made to do amazing things because Zippy shot me in the side of the head from probably like 100 meters away. I was like, pew! I don't even know where he came from. I was coming out of spawn. I was getting ready. And then it was just like, Pat. And I look over and he's like, hi, Matt. And then, Jacob had one at Get Smoked. And that was really cool. And like him and Jason were just like doing the whole thing, right?
Mhm.
And John's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm in a weird spot with the GBBRs where like the GBB rifles are not on my list. Like people have used them here, and I'm definitely convinced that they're like practical here now in a way that they definitely weren't when I owned one. But like the price point is brutal. Or at least I find it to be. But if I were going to do like a GBBR, I think doing a cool impression kit one is way more interesting than just like repeating something I've already got. So like a FAL sounds really much cooler to me. I'm still, still in love with the idea of doing a World War II airsoft kit, even though I, don't have most of the pieces for the US one anymore. I'm like, yeah, this is a terrible idea and I hope it doesn't exist, but like a GBB Bren would be hilarious for like that same kind of thing. Or yeah, like a FAL, honestly, and these probably do exist, but like an MP5 or something, just so you can have an airsoft gun where you can do the slap without shattering your gun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. Like I've got a little plastic MP5 tucked away in the closet somewhere, and I slap the handle right off of it.
Oh man, in the entire time I've been playing airsoft, I know no one who has owned one and hasn't. Like,
Yeah.
that is the fate of those. So like, if you were like, yeah, no, this is a GBB one. Okay, sure. Yeah, I love the idea of the FAL. Like, I mean, that's just objectively a cool historical replica.
Cool.
I think for me, like I could, if I were going to do, hello again. um,
They're saying hi to you,
you
Roxy.
know, I think doing, like the, because I've run one before and I actually kind of liked it, like an M16 a la Black Hawk Down, like just, that'd be cool. Um,
Oh yeah.
so like there's,
Well, considering, all right, I'm gonna say that's a good idea for you for a few reasons. If you decide to go to GBBR, because we've talked forever about how much you like an M16 with the 203 on it, and we were talking about how useful 203s are. And like back in the day when you ran one, you had shower shells and they weren't really that great. Today we have a handful of different payloads in, within budget for the average airsofter that you can be firing out of that thing, so it becomes a much more viable game item than it
and like
was
all of which are
then.
better than the shot. Like the degree to which just the Ace Hive shower shells are better than the ones I was using, like 8 years ago, is unbelievable. Um, Funnily enough, that does like literally bring me to, so like the last thing I think of as sensible that's on.
Before we
Oh yeah,
move on,
totally.
I want to be the voice of reason for Matt for a second here. You said earlier that like Pat looking at a 240 Bravo for like one event a year, big expense, not really worth it. I'd ask you the same question. You look at the GBBR, like your impetus for getting one is you want to cosplay as Zippy, so that's cool, that's fine.
Respect.
But also you want to attend games with your buddies that have different gun rules. Do you have any other replicas that you could use that would fall within that rule that would allow you to attend those events without spending money? And is that if the impetus is really to just I want to hang with my buddies, then it doesn't really matter what you look like, right? And you can just use whatever and then have fun with your friends. Or if it's like actually I primarily want to cosplay as Zippy, well then you don't really have a choice. Like then you're
I fail
sort
or
of like
bust.
your path is set forward, right? But yeah, that's the only thing I would say. Because again, like how often are you not going to these events because you don't have a replica that meets the gun rules, right?
I mean, you got me there, right? Like most of these times, like if there's a situation where I want to do that, I borrow my son's AAP01, this one right here behind me, and instead of putting the M4 mag adapter in, I just use an Extendo Glock mag, and I run it as an SMG, and that does
Yeah.
everything I need absolutely 100%. So yeah, I'll cop to this one. Zippy cosplay. I just want to feel as cool as Jason, Canadian Airsofter.
Well, I'm like,
All right.
we're
Well, then that's worth any amount of dollars.
I'm
Like,
I'm
really.
like, we're here to be nerds about this, right? Like,
Dude, I wish. Okay, you're gonna have to check out the picture after this, Pat, and we won't post it publicly. If you guys want to see it, you're gonna have to come to the Storm Riders Discord and look at it because Jason doesn't. He's a shy kid, but his look at Get Smoked when we went to CZ was just,
oh man, I want to see this.
Yeah.
oh, dude, it was he
On
had
point.
like his mask like down and like a hat and like I don't know how to describe it, dude. It was like contractor, like it was the coolest, most badass,
But he was given
if
like
you had.
Vietnam COG and stuff, CAG or
Yeah,
whatever.
like he is a CIA dude just out doing his thing,
Yeah.
or like a cat, or yeah, like combat action group, any of that cool stuff, dude. Like I could have seen him as like a third character in a Schwarzenegger movie in the late '90s.
Wicked,
100%.
wicked.
Yep, 100% agree.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
man,
bang on.
I love it.
Like he'd
Yeah.
just be back there with his foul, like I don't care about predators, and like he would shoot one and then get him back at the same time. It'd be great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the last like practical thing, I guess, or second last, on my list was, so I've talked about it a couple of times. There's a guy still on, I don't know how it's not sold, but there's a guy on the Canadian Airsoft board selling a bunch of VFC replicas. And like currently they're my kind of go-to just because they play so well with Polar Stars stuff. So he's got I grabbed like literally his selling note here, a VFC M4 Salt mod with a 203 on it. An Aimpoint Repro, obviously, Repro Light, Repro Peck, basically doing the like grenade launcher rifleman from Tears of the Sun kind of vibe. And
Right.
like, I'm a little in love with that. His price point is pretty reasonable. I just have been trying not to spend $700 on airsoft gear for the last year.
That's just
an
under
AEG.
$400.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
400 US.
Oh yeah, that's right. Like 400.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real, dude. I don't know, because we've been talking about the 203 on an M16 forever. If this scratches the same itch for you, excuse me,
I mean,
if this scratches the same itch for you, that could be a route to it. If it is that reasonable price, I mean, you like the VFCs for whatever reason, like because they play well with Polar Star, right? I like Lancer Tacticals for the same reason because they were a very successful VFC clone and they fit Polar Stars so well. Uh, so I fully support that, right? As you were describing it all to me, I was thinking maybe like $500 would be the price, and then I didn't see it, but like 400 USD, right? Like that's. I mean, dude, if you want a new airsoft gun, that's reasonably priced, and with the accessories on it,
yeah, like
absolutely.
I don't hate it.
Uh,
You know,
um,
I
but I don't hate it isn't necessarily like good enough, bro. Do you look at it and you go, yeah, or are you looking at it and going,
I mean,
it's a good price and I could do a lot of stuff with it,
so
but it's cool,
the
right?
big
Like,
issue for me, like with buying expensive pieces of airsoft kit, so like replicas, at this point is really the only thing I could be buying that costs like more than $200. I'm like $200 is the point where I start being like, okay, maybe I should actually sit down and have a think about this, rather than just being like,
right.
yeah, the hell with it. Like right now for me, I'm like, this is, I guess, a digression into like other hobby stuff a little bit, but um, in particular, my super old airbrush that I've had for like since like 2007. I actually may have had it for exactly as long as I've been playing airsoft. And I've done every bad thing you can do to it, like, so it certainly doesn't owe me anything. And my current preferred airbrush company just released a updated version of my really, really nice airbrush. And let's say that the price points are not as dissimilar as I would like. And so I'm like, well, I could buy a new airsoft gun, or I could buy this really shiny airbrush.
It sounds to me like you're asking Matt for permission to spend money on your airbrush rather than airsoft. That's what it's sounding like to me right now. I don't know if anybody's picking up on that. That's what it
I'm
sounds
actually
like to me.
doing is, as soon as I finish the infinite pile of marking from exams, is selling another Warhammer army to pay for either the airbrush or the airsoft gun. And like in practice, the last item, and I know we're sort of skipping one of Matt's here, but like we'll get back to it in a second if you'll forgive me. Is an AEP, and like I think that in some ways is a better buy than another rifle replica for me.
It sure is. Because look, dude, you could put a grenade launcher on it.
I mean, that's amazing, objectively.
Yeah.
But like,
Is that the compact or the full size?
This was the full size when I started. Sorry, now we're totally getting on to AAP talk,
yeah,
right?
that's all good. Anyone who's been paying attention knew this was happening.
When I just sometimes people just give me stuff. I went into America Airsoft and they're like, "Hey Matt, you like AAPs? I have a bunch of these frames. You want them?" I'm like, "Yes, okay, yes, 100%." He gave me this green one and he gave me this gold one.
Nice.
And so now I have these aluminum uppers that are super nice. And then these are my two oldest AAPs, and each one has had this one's had about 30,000. This one's had about 15,000 rounds through it. And both of the blowback units had just been blown to pieces. So like once I had the one aluminum part, it was easy as hell to just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna get, aluminum blowback units, and then it just kind of kept going. And then I have the outer barrel to match the blowback unit because I had to have it all purple, right? And then like
I mean,
that's just how you go with these
10 out
things.
of 10.
And then this one I've always like I walked into TNT later with this same gun. They're like, hey Matt, you like AAPs? And then that's where I got this can and the handguard. Which I think they're like a Fuku thing. I don't actually care about any of that. I was happy with my AAP's bone stock. Like you like to say, it doesn't owe me anything, right? I had put 20,000 rounds through this gun before I ever replaced a part.
Yep, righteous.
AAP's totally a great gun. Aside from the fact that it's, dependable, modular, uses Glock magazines, has a million different things, and I really like these, what do you call it, the trigger guard holsters, where you just pop it like that, and when I'm getting ready to go play, I just, oh man.
Yep. I mean, the situation for me with with those is like, you know, I so when I was running the Scorpion Evo, the only
Did you say you wanted it like an SMG?
so it's actually funny. Like I actually want it the other way around. So the only time I found the Scorpion Evo to be like what I wanted it to be was I spent a couple of games where I just bumped the stock to the side and used it as a machine pistol, while I was like playing more. Like we've experimented with a bunch of like find the objective around the field. So like having a big honkin' replica with a magnified optic and stuff was kind of counterproductive because I needed to be moving around a lot, and often I was like, to be completely honest, sort of going like, oh, there's a dude over there. All right, auto, where is that thing?
Yeah, you just sort of like
Right, like what's on the ground
point in
here?
his direction and be like, "Go away!"
Yeah. Right, exactly. Like I don't really need to accurately hit that guy. I just need him to put his head down and stop shooting at me while I find this. And like,
Yeah,
independent of the fact that like, you know, between talking to you and watching videos about teching them and looking at parts and stuff, like I kind of want to play with one.
And they're cheaper than that guy's replica that
Oh my
you're
God,
considering buying too,
I
right?
could buy
Oh, no.
like one and all the upgrade parts for it and a couple of mags for that $700. Like, you know,
you could probably buy like 3,
oh man,
and then all those upgrade
yeah, I
parts.
haven't looked at the,
Uh,
I haven't priced the upgrades very like well lately, but I think, you know, like the actual AAP itself is like 200 from Andy's.
Yeah, like it's when I walk out with my military discount from AA, American Airsoft, and they do a 10% discount, so it takes off the tax. It's $109.26.
Yep.
Uh,
You know,
Because
That's
I bought.
that's a cheap airsoft blaster.
Oh yeah, dude, and like they do anything. Like again, behind me is the one my son's. This is my daughter's, but they both have like the buttstock on it. And as you said, like I really love doing the fold thing and then like holding it there like it's a little machine pistol. It's such a cool feeling. You're like, aha!
Yep.
It's got like such a vibe with the folding stock used as the foregrip. But then yeah, as you say, you just sort of like point it in that direction. You're like, hey, leave me alone.
Yep.
And you do
And,
like
like-
the pattern of automatic fire. And I mean, you already have the HPA, right?
Yeah.
So it's
you know, and
the
I've got
adapter's only
I've
another
got 2
$80.
rigs, I've got 2 tanks. You know, so like, it's also one of those things where I really liked my Glock airsoft pistol.
Right.
And like, I have 2 airsoft pistols that shoot semi. I don't need a Glock. I kind of want one, but like, again, I've been sort of like, I probably shouldn't spend, you know, a couple $100 on that for literally no reason. But like the AAP offers, again, something to play with tech wise. You know, I'm kind of curious how well the just like set the rig to the appropriate pressure, screw an adapter into the bottom of the mag and go thing works. Like, I mean, the internet assures me that it works really well, but like, I want to, I want to do it. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, Primary does make adapters that fit like other magazines too. Like if you didn't want it to have like an M4 magazine sticking out the bottom, they do like a MP5 magazine adapters to it.
yeah.
So that's
like,
another option.
Yeah, so like lots of options.
I know a lot of people don't like the M4. It's a big fat thing coming out of the bottom of the grip, right?
Yeah.
And I could see you not enjoying that particularly because you are a bit about the aesthetic.
But I mean, like, you know, for most stuff that I can conceive of using it for at the moment, you know, like buying a extended Glock mag, putting a HPA adapter into the bottom of the extended Glock mag, like, cool. That's a lot of rounds.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and like those adapters are like $10. So 2 of those mags for like two of those mags and 2 HPA adapters for the sake of like running it for a skirmish at frontline. You know, that's not a big deal.
So we're saying, Pat, you're getting an AAP. That's what's happening, right?
I
That's-
think
I mean, that does seem to be one of the
you're gonna be-
takeaways from tonight. Instead of
Yeah.
getting
if
the
you're
top
already
mod.
going to, yeah, I was gonna say if you're already going to sell your army and you already have it set aside for other hobby stuff, your airbrush is working fine. You don't need a new airbrush.
My AAP isn't working
All right,
fine. It's true.
I love you, but like I look at my impact wrench now and then. It was Dad's. All right, it was my father's. He teched for 30 years before I ever touched the thing. And occasionally I look at it and I'm like, all the new ones have all these bells and whistles and adjustable torque, and I'm like, but this hasn't fallen apart in however long it's been, right? I don't need a new
And
one.
frankly, probably never will, because it doesn't have the bells and whistles.
Exactly, right. Like I'll give my son this impact gun. Your airbrush is fine, bro. You want the shiny new one, but you don't need it.
I mean, that's certainly
The SOP mod.
there's certainly an argument that I want it and don't need it for sure.
When you say when we were talking about SOP mod earlier, and it seemed like you were into it, but then you said, "I don't hate it." That's not enough, man.
And the big thing is like that I love the gun. Like it looks sick, but I know
Right.
objectively, like especially it's an M4, so it's not gonna bring anything.
It's just another M4, bro. If you really want to do that, you can body kit up one of your other guns.
Well, I'm like, you know,
You got a dozen M4s
Mhm.
lying
I mean,
around.
it's also one of those just like, what's it gonna do that my M27 isn't gonna do?
Exactly right. And it's
Like-
not even like a different shape.
You know,
Yeah.
other than
Like with an
like,
AK, like if you do an AK, it's a different feeling, right? It's exactly the same thing,
totally.
but you at least get to like flip out the magazines and everything. But if you're getting like,
Well, I'm like,
oh, I'm gonna get an HK 416 and a 417 and an M4 and a SUP mod and an M16 and a Mark 12, and I'm like, those are all the same gun.
I'm like,
It's an XM277 or whatever. They're completely different.
I'm like, I'm not really like looking at it and being like, you know, it's $700, so it's probably $750 to get it to me. You know, like A, that's a non-trivial amount of money. And B,
Right.
yeah, it's a thing I already functionally own. And,
So there we go.
and the M27 is really nice,
I've heard many good things about your M27.
you know. So
A lot of them from you, but also from other people.
look, I'm unbiased.
Well, to be fair, like you're a podcaster, right? I listen to your podcast. You've told me about your M27 1,000 times more than you've ever talked about it.
It's true.
It's not my baby. What can I say?
So, Matt, do you have one last one for us?
No, all my other stuff was just sort of nonsense, and I don't actually feel like talking about it anymore. But I think our takeaway for Pat is good job on the mesh dump pouch. If you tear through that because you got the Amazon one, buy the one that Phil recommended because we all like that.
Yeah, totally. I'm like that's definitely where I'm at with it. Like the price of the Amazon one means that if I wreck it, then it's like, all right, fine, I'll get the good one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then you've at least experienced it and you know if you like it.
Exactly.
Readjust your belt kit because it doesn't cost you anything. Get the suspenders for the belt kit because that costs very little relative.
Totally.
Get an AAP because it will do a new interesting thing for you. It's super fun. It's cheap, and it doesn't just do the thing as the pistol. It does a thing as a toy in the workshop. It does the thing as a bunch of different things. You're gonna have a blast just trying to figure out like, okay, yes, I know some people run these as DMRs or snipers. How do they do that? Pat, 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 pat. And then you'll look into it, and suddenly you'll be like, have this HPA AAP sniper that's like 3 feet long,
I feel
and that you can butt stroke people with. It is also an axe.
I feel like he just
Yeah.
described like that was very like how my students talk about me when I'm not around.
Yeah.
Well, again,
Love
like I was your student, right? You taught me so much about airsoft, and I took it and ran with it, and now I have become the master.
Absolutely. Definitely a master of evil, but absolutely.
Oh,
a master of launching grenades into Toyota Tacomas at the very least.
dude, it's one of my favorite things to do that I didn't know about until last year. Isn't it great when you find a new hobby and you're like, this is great? It's shooting chalk at pickup
I love
trucks.
finding
Yeah.
things to love in airsoft. Yeah. Like
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. This was truly a blast, not just because we talked about grenades for like 30 minutes, but I think like these are the kinds of conversations that it's a really good example of how you can have a lot of fun, but also challenge people in a non-confrontational way about why they're thinking about certain things. And if you have buddies who play airsoft and you care about them, like having these types of chats where you're like, hey, do you really need that, or tell me how you're thinking about this or whatever, like. That helps everybody because at the end of the day, A, you have a good chat, but B, you come away with a different perspective that maybe either helps you make a decision or saves you a bit of money or what have you. So, guys, I really appreciate you taking the time coming up with the lists, and it's definitely something we're going to do again.
absolutely.
I
Like,
had a
at
really
a
good
bare
time.
minimum, I was going to say like we need to do this in 6 months so that we can talk about what I've bought and like continue
Right,
playing
like
with
I'm
this,
going to be
right?
buying some of this stuff, and then we can review it, and we'll be like, Pat asks Matt, did we buy that?
Yeah.
And then we go back and look at
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Like I love it.
That sounds like a date to me,
Wicked.
guys.
Which, by the way, when you're doing the thumbnail and the thing, the title I liked was Pat asks Matt, "Should I buy that?"
Oh, I love it.
Noted.
I'm all about
Right, like-
I'm all about the rhyme.
So
Right,
yeah, I
right.
guess guys, it's a date for Did I Buy This with Pat and Matt in a couple of months. But until that time, that's all we got for you today. Thanks so much for listening, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everybody. A special shout out to the Thunderdome crew. Thanks so much, you guys. You mean so much to me.
Thanks,
care,
guys.
everyone.
And everyone, remember to check the Discord to see that Zippy loadout that has inspired Matt to make good choices.
See ya.